Holy shit pickles. Back again with Deadpool 2. The review for Deadpool 2. Enjoy, YouTube. Now, this is gotta be. Now, Deadpool 2, an excellent sequel. And one, I have to say, is better than the original. As this one's got longer and got a lot more action. And introducing, especially with the introduction and brief cameo of guys of Alpha Flight, like a guy named Peter who he just saw the ad. Zeitgeist, who just was nothing more. I don't care if he came first to me. He still sounds like a rep off of the rest. Powers wise is the rep off of the wrestler to Jerry, because he's always shooting, because his thing is spewing that green mist, except Zeitgeist is acid. With returning characters like and Terry Crews. That's got to be. I mean, that guy makes any movie role funny. And the cameo of Deadpool as Vanisher. I mean, scratched out. I meant cameo of Brad Pitt as Vanisher. Epic. Along into the scene when Cable meets those two rednecks, and they're both Alan Tudyk and Matt Damon. Alan Tudyk, now that's another underrated actor. And a Firefly, alongside Firefly alum, Morena Baccarin, who I mentioned in a previous video. Which, one flaw of the storyline was her die, and just so she could come back. I can understand because she was busy with Gotham, but still, I always just had a love-hate with that one. But hey, as long as time travel's involved, hey, fine by me. And of course, Josh Brolin as Cable. Now that's a perfect role casting. Even though I once fought, at first I thought someone like Stephen Lang, Dolph Lundgren, or Adam Baldwin or Stallone should have been, and Dolph Lundgren should have been Cable. But like always, Brolin knocks it out of the park. Like he did with Thanos, playing Wild Bill, Brand. Almost any movie Josh Brolin does is almost watchable. The other ones have been like Wild Bill from Young Riders and Brand from Goonies. Those other roles I mentioned. And a lot of excellent storyline where they said where Deadpool and Cable have to stop a kid mutant from killing the master because he's supposed to turn into a villain later on, which is an excellent plot. And a plot point, and of course, the proper use, finally, a proper execution of Juggernaut, compared to the abomination Vinnie Jones played. Now that guy was. Talk about, you can't stop him, he's the Juggernaut. Holy shit balls. And of course, with part 1 and part 2, I forgot to mention in the previous video, the soundtrack. I mean, anytime I hear 9 to 5, I'm going to think of that opening montage where he's of Deadpool clipping wise guys. Because that was a perfect song for it. For that. Along that funny scene when he's in disguise as a stripper and he's wearing heels while clipping wise guys. Now that is comedy gold. And of course, when he's avenging the Vanessa who was killed by Triad goons. When he went John Wick on those motherfuckers in his apartment, only to save that, which Deadpool 2 was happened to have been directed by by the guy who shot John Wick's dog. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like which is another thing. Those fucking the credits doing for Deadpool. Excellent soundtrack and a opening montage. Like, for example, a slow motion. The first one was a slow motion shot of still take on a coming battle. Right up Main Street battle from the first one, and the James parody of the James Bond openings in the second one, and especially how he kills a guy in the second one by hugging him, then throwing him across the meat wagon. And alongside that was the chemistry between Nagasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio. Talk about an excellent pairing. And excellent powers of how she could has this thing where she could just add her own weapons, kind of like a mutant Go-Go from Kill Bill. And of course, all beginning at the end, ending of it, when Dopender runs over that pedophile guard from that orphan's home. Now that's exit justice to a piece of shit villains like that, especially especially when he and Cable finally team up to take him all down. And of course, Domino, played by Zazie Beetz of Atlanta fame. And that's an excellent take from comic Domino to movie reimagining of how in the comic Domino was basically Marvel's Harley Quinn, but in the movie, she's basically a reboot of Cleopatra Jones from the 70s. Now, Cleopatra Jones is a 70s blaxploitation movie, which might possibly be reviewed in a later video. But that's what she reminded me of the baddest bitch from the 70s. A good thing luck's her power, because the team was powerful without her. Powerless without her. Between that scene when they are going on the plane, jumped on the plane, and when the guys from Alpha Flight die, all except Domino and Deadpool die, and of course when they're trying to take down that truck full of prisoners. And some of the puns like, "Let him go, John Connor." With Cable, when he was basically like Terminator with shields and such. Given it in the comics, he's also the son of Scott Cyclops and Jean Grey. But that's one badass motherfucker right there. And come on. And a lot of excellent puns in the prison scenes. And of course, that line when he meets Cable for the first time and they argue over dubstep, and he's like, "Dubstep's for pussies," says Cable. When he after the first encounter with Russell at the orphanage, they talking about some funny puns like, "Zip just put her down. Like, back off or Justin Bieber gets it," or the obligatory, wherever there's some funny ass jokes like comparing him to Jared Kushner and some other people. That guard, right before Deadpool kills his ass. after Colossus was like, "Damn it, no killing." But like in the first one, when Deadpool, back to the first one, when Deadpool finally kills Ajax, when he just has like a little Walther PPK type pistol, and he's like, "You were droning on." And Deadpool 2 gets a 5 out of 5 for his excellent blend of action and comedy. And of course, when Deadpool gets human, breaks his down human with a cord that disables his powers, that's an excellent metaphor for just breakdowning human, because that's when Deadpool's always got more human in this one. That is, like I said earlier, this is 5 out of 5. Enjoy YouTube, and subscribe.